Hi everyone, this is Dr. BethAnne. I am an author, intuitive psychologist, and an empath, and I craft content that is designed to offer support, inspiration, and perspective for highly sensitive souls. And we have been working through self-acceptance this September and talking about different ideas for how we can bring more energy of self-acceptance into our life. So we were talking about self-grace the other day, and today I wanted to talk about self-empathy. Empathy is usually applied to somebody else. It is the ability to feel what somebody else is feeling. Empaths can do that in different ways. Empaths can sometimes have an emotional experience. They might have more of a cognitive experience where they kind of feel the thoughts. Then they can also sometimes feel literally what somebody else's body is feeling. But as like a general rule of thumb, I'm talking about the kind of empathy where on a feeling, an emotional level, we're able to feel what somebody else is feeling and usually come at it from a compassionate place and say like, oh, ouch, that hurts. I feel you on that, and just hold space for them. You know, empathy is really about being sensitive to another's emotional experience and allowing it to resonate with us and find compassion for our fellow human being having that experience. So self-empathy is turning that energy around and giving it to ourselves. And that might seem like a no-brainer, right? Like if it's our own experience of self, how can we not have empathy with it? But I want to take it a little bit deeper and say that like not all of our experiences of self are easy. If we're experiencing something that's very clear and in the moment, like joy or happiness or relaxation, empathy isn't really that important. We're just very in the moment with it. I'm really talking about difficult experiences of self, experiences where we want to judge ourselves, where we want to shame ourselves, where we want to say that's a bad emotion, you shouldn't be feeling that way. That's the stuff we really need self-empathy for. I am talking about the parts of ourselves that are still working through pain, are still transmuting trauma, that still have hurt. I'm talking about the parts of ourselves that are just really messy and human and sometimes feel these like icky, sticky things. And a lot of times without even knowing we're doing it, we don't make space to feel whatever the feeling is because we want to get back to that better place of, you know, kind of getting ourselves back in a good mood or a positive mood. And so we try and skip over the feeling or talk ourselves out of the feeling, or we judge the feeling and say, you shouldn't be feeling this way. Everything's going great today. Why are you sad? And I do not think that's very helpful to who we are. It is not helpful to self-acceptance. It's not helpful to embracing our whole. Every now and then a feeling state's fleeting, and if we don't attach to it and we just observe it and let it go, it will pass on through. But a lot of times our feelings don't just go away. They usually have information and something to tell us. And so, you know, if it was a good friend who said, I'm feeling really sad today, and we were a compassionate friend to them, especially as a highly sensitive soul, we probably would say, tell me about why you're sad. Why are you feeling sad? You know, and if they would say, I don't know, I'm just kind of blue, no reason, we might say something like, well, you know, sometimes people get sad for no reason, or you've had a lot on your plate, you know, maybe you're just run down. Maybe we'd say, gosh, I heard it's a new moon, and sometimes that's really introspective. That's me. I'm always like doing cosmic interpretations for people and why they might feel something. But you know, what we would try and do is have empathy for our friend. We wouldn't say, don't feel that way. You have no reason to feel sad. There are plenty of people who will tell you how not to feel, but like I said, this is crafted for the highly sensitive soul. So I'm assuming most people who are resonating with my work are usually the ones who are more inclined to offer an empathic ear. And that's really the energy we want to bring with ourselves. We want to be able to say, if we observe that we're feeling sad, why am I feeling sad? And do a self-check. You know, do I have a reason that comes right to mind? How am I feeling run down? What's going on in like the global climate or the collective consciousness right now? We just do a self-check and we say, like, what's this sad about? We see if any information comes through. sometimes self-empathy is just a matter of saying, well then, hello sadness, I acknowledge you. Maybe we can't trace it to anything. And we just say, I trust if you have something to tell me, you will tell me. And if not, you're welcome just to pass on through and leave my system when you're done. It is perfectly okay, especially if you're a super sensitive soul, that you don't have to attach to every feeling. Not all feelings have information, many do. Sometimes we really are picking up on something from somebody else. But if we take the time to engage in self-empathy and to try and understand our experience of self, let it resonate with us, as opposed to skipping over it, kicking it out right away, or judging it, then we're more likely to be able to, one, identify if it really does have something to tell us, and then we can do our inner work around that. Or two, just identify maybe it's a feeling state and we just acknowledge it and trust it to dissolve, or do something to help dissolve it. But both of those ways are ways of full self-acceptance and fully seeing us and fully allowing for our full emotional spectrum as human beings. So have a fantastic day. I will be back tomorrow with more ideas and thoughts, and you can find me on my website where I do one-on-one work. And if you identify as an empath, I have a course I designed for empaths, The Heart of Empathy, to help us understand our experience better, and all of the information's on the site if you're interested in that. See everybody later. Aloha. Have a beautiful one.